Imagine forgetting you're pregnant because the drug hits that good. Crack was America's secret weapon, destroying lives, tearing apart families, and conveniently blamed on those it targeted most. We're unpacking the brutal truths hidden behind the crack epidemic.
Cocaine was my best friend. It didn't answer me back. It didn't give me a hard time. It didn't argue with me, and it was there if I needed it. He had $400 worth of crack on him, and here I am, a pregnant woman, with no man around, an empty apartment. He and I spent the whole evening and the next morning smoking. After I took that first hit, I forgot that I was pregnant.
Miss Stewart told investigators that on Thursday morning at about 11 a.m., while in the bathroom, she gave birth to a baby boy. She left the kicking and squealing infant on the bathroom floor and went into her bedroom to continue freebasing. At about 3 p.m. on Thursday, Miss Stewart said that she went to the bathroom again and delivered a second child, which she thought was stillborn. Second infant was left in the toilet. Both infants were dead. The children were twin boys.
If I had to live February 11th over again, I'd rather it been me than my boys.
Let's get real. Deborah's story isn't just tragic, it's a calculated disaster. Her babies weren't just victims of neglect, they were casualties in a larger war. This woman forgot she was pregnant because the drugs were more available than health care or treatment. Think about that. America was quicker to flood our streets with crack than to provide resources for addiction recovery.
Drugs are, of course, more than a legal problem, more than an individual problem for the user. They affect us all in one way or another, and they especially affect the families of the people who use them. In some black families, grandparents have shouldered much of the burden. The grandparent has long been a central figure in black families, often providing a vital economic benefit and a source of housing for several generations. They have also served as substitute parents to their grandchildren, while their adult children were off at work. Today it's different. Crack cocaine has forced some grandparents to assume new responsibilities. They must care for grandchildren whose parents have become crack addicts. It's a tough task, as Ginger Casey reports.
I feel like, just don't feel like I'm all by myself, just me and my baby brother, all in the world by ourselves. Like nobody there to take care of me. Like I don't even have a mother. I feel scared.
The courts called me and told me they found Monique on Taylor Street in an apartment with a lemon in the refrigerator, and she had been there 5 days. And they had sold all the furniture and everything, and she was sleeping on some clothes. Didn't even have a bed. And she loved her mother so much, she didn't want to turn them in. But she got so hungry, she went to the neighbors, and the neighbors reported it. And I had to go to a home to get her. And another time was when Stefan was 2 weeks old. She said, Mom, I gotta go, I'm bored, I gotta go. I said, well, you gotta stay here with the baby. I mean, I can't take care of the baby, I got things to do. She's my daughter. I'm gonna always love her.
When Aureline Fortson was her daughter's age, she raised 4 children by herself. But now, at 54, at a stage in life when most women have time for themselves, Aureline does not. She spent the last decade bringing up her 11-year-old granddaughter, Monique, and her 16-month-old grandson, Stefan. Both are the children of her daughter, Elisa, who's addicted to crack.
You know what I mean? That's what crack does to people, destroys people's lives and with their loved ones, you know. When you lose trust for people, like especially people in your family, and that's about everything. That's the only thing you got is family members. When you lose that, you lose everything, you know. It doesn't really matter. And when I lost, when they took me to court for my daughter, I lost my daughter, I just didn't care anymore.
When she leaves, I feel like she hates me, man. She don't love me. Then when she comes back with all her excuses and I was crying, they say, oh, she loves me like that. So I feel like I don't know if she loves me or she don't even want me.
My granddaughters and my grandson, they need their mother's love. I mean, I take care of them, I hold them, I give them all the care that they need. But then when I get through cleaning them up and feeding them, they want to know where their mother is.
Oralene has suffered from a heart attack, and she's been diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure. But in spite of that, she attends the support group meetings and is working toward a degree in nursing at San Francisco City College.
My life is hell. I spend my life picking up the pieces. I get organized, I get everything going, all set, all by myself, studying, getting good grades. Then my daughter comes back in. I have to start all over again. I'm of LVN, and I want to become a registered nurse. I want to open a nursing home. I want to take care of the aged. I want it to be pleasant to grow old. I see so much suffering with the older people, and I want them to have a place where they can come to and relax and get good care. It shouldn't be painful to grow old. And I'm going to be there soon, and I hope there's someone there that will take good care of me. That's what I want to do. That's my goal in life.
If I had this one in a ring. Cyclohexane.
And now I'm taking physiology, and I'm taking chemistry, and I'm going to have to take them all over again because I'm in class and I can't think. I'm talking to the instructors, and they're talking to me, and my mind is somewhere. Where's my granddaughter? Where's my grandson? Where's, you know, how am I going to do it? I'm doing so many things, and I'm not doing anything well. I'm trying to spread myself too thin, and I can't think of one thing that I can let go or stop doing. And number 2, I don't have a social life. I don't have time for it.
One of the few happy moments in Oralene's life is the time she spends with her granddaughter, Monique. And for Monique, Oralene is irreplaceable.
I know she always gonna be here. She's not gonna leave me. It was good. I know she's always gonna be there to help me, clothe me, and I know I'm not gonna be alone. She never leave me. If she does that, my auntie's always there. She goes, and she don't go very far. Don't leave me. I feel happy. I know she loves me. I don't have to know anything else but that she loves me.
She loves being with me, but she also loves her mother very much. And the time that she spends with her mother are good times. She has good quality time with her mother when her mother's, you know, well. And her mother is trying. She just can't, she's just not strong. She tries really hard to do the right things. She's just not strong.
I want to be so many things. I want to be normal, respectable like everybody else. But wherever I go, you know, it just seems like it's there to bring me down.
No matter how hard she's tried, Elisa hasn't been able to kick her crack cocaine habit.
I've been in programs. I've been in a couple of programs trying to get straight. And it's really hard when you go home and it hits you at your door before, you know, the mailman hits you at the door or anything else, that, you know, the dope man is there at the door, and it's hard.
My daughter was in a shelter, and this is about the 4th shelter she's been kicked out of in the last 4 months. This time I thought I would bring her home, and I said, do you want to come home? You and the baby live with me, and then you won't have all these problems that you have at the shelter, and we'll work things out. The first night she was there, she went to bed. I got up and went to the living room, and the baby was there, no one but the baby. She was gone. So she came in about 5 that morning, banging on the door, so I let her in. And I told her, I said, you know, if you do this again, I'm not going to let you in.
The very next night, the same thing happened.
I knew that if I didn't do something right that moment, I wouldn't do anything. I'm really concerned about Stefan. He's number 1. I'm 54. He's 16 months. His life is ahead of him. Most of my life is behind me. I think his life is more important. And if I can do anything for his future effective, that's the thing I'll do. Okay.
What Oraline did was call the police to report that her car had been stolen by her daughter. Elisa was arrested. Now it would be up to the court to decide whether Elisa was fit to care for Stefan.
The minor is ordered detained with the maternal grandmother. The court at this time will order that drug counseling services and treatment services be provided to the mother, and the matter is ordered continued.
Lisa admitted to me, she said this morning, she said, Mama, I'm so sick. She said, I'm getting where I can't even hold my bowels. She said, this stuff is killing me. She said, I'm dying. She said, I know that I'm dying and I can't stop. She says, I know that I have to do something. So she was angry with me at first, but now she told me that she loved me very much and she knew that I did what I had to do.
Monique, tell me a little bit about how you feel about drugs.
I hate them. They were never invented. Because then I can't live with my mommy and can't be with my brother. So sometimes just I hate people that do drugs except for my mom. But really, I'm glad that I know all these things going. I get older, I won't take drugs. And I know what to do with my kids, because I practically raised a kid already myself. They just make so many things to kill people. Why can't they make so many things to keep us alive? Keep people together. People together, because it's sad. Everybody got somebody else's kids and nobody living with their right mind. Some people walking around in the streets, no house, no home, no clothes, no money, no food. It's a cruel world.
And here's the real front line, the grandparents raising Crack's forgotten children. These women became collateral damage, sacrificing health, dreams, sanity, to keep families from completely breaking apart. Notice how the government wasn't eager to step in and help here, but they sure showed up when it was time to criminalize their children.
In neighborhoods like this, Monique's hope for a world without drugs seems tragically remote. This is Hunters Point, one of more than a dozen San Francisco locales that have been pinpointed by police as centers of drug trafficking and use. Last spring, a major news story in the Bay Area centered around the killings of 3 people in the Hunters Point and Sunnydale areas of San Francisco. At the time, police called them gang shootings and predicted all-out gang warfare. That dire forecast has proven wrong. But the controversy over gangs and whether they really exist or not continues as police try to solve the shooting deaths. We looked into the violence and its history in an often ignored part of the city.
It was 22 years ago. U.S. Senator Robert Kennedy and a committee were visiting Hunters Point, looking at public housing and asking residents why violence and rioting had taken place there.
Let me ask you this. You had problems and violence and disorder and lawlessness here about a year ago. Have the conditions that brought that about, have they changed over the period of the last 12 months?
And these young men have grew up in this situation. Police brutality, poor schools, poor education, kick-outs mostly. They call them dropouts, but they're kick-out in Hunters Point. If you are from Hunters Point, you get no chance at all.
Today, Hunters Point and nearby Sunnydale are still home mostly to poor blacks. The biggest change is the widespread sale and use of crack cocaine and the allegation that feuding gangs control it.
Me and my husband was looking at TV, okay, and it started some shooting in the back. And lucky that I was as quick as I was, and I went upstairs, and all of a sudden it sounded like a bunch of elephants, and the whole road got shot up.
It was a drug war. It's a drug war.
You know, but
I don't, we don't know. We're not in it.
I don't have nothing to do with it.
It's a good thing that my little girl right here
wasn't outside.
Yeah, I'm a smoker. I smoke crack, and so does she. But we're not in this. We're not in this.
I'm not in it, and I swear, I really would like for it to come to a halt and get the neighborhood back the way it was.
The frustration over the violence has infected nearly everyone, including kids of all ages.
Sunnydale has a reputation 4 months ago. Something happened this month. It's Sunnydale. We all lived here together for years. What we gonna wanna go fighting each other for? People over there we know. We don't wanna kill nobody.
What do you guys see as the whole problem related to the gangs and everything?
It's mainly just the drugs.
Okay.
At a special class for Hunters Point youngsters just entering their teens, drugs and violence are part of the curriculum.
It's no use of even, picking up a Uzi or something like that if you can't shoot a regular handgun, and then just imagine a Uzi, they can't hold that, then that's how an innocent person gets shot, because the bullets spread all over, and somebody gets shot. They can't even hold a 38, that got a lot of power. And if they try to pick up a Uzi, they're gonna kill a lot of people like that.
If you take the weapon from any gang member, while you're alone, they just a bunch of regular people. But if they got guns or something, they kings and queens. You can't do nothing about it.
They do have guns, and in the past 2 years, they have used them increasingly. In Hunters Point, on a Saturday in April, somebody in a car opened up with an automatic weapon and killed 18-year-old Charles Hughes and 20-year-old Roshan Johnson, who were on a street corner. 9 others were injured. Police and the media called the shootings gang warfare, retaliation for the rifle shot killing a month earlier of 19-year-old Sunnydale resident Peter Lee Carr. Police have yet to charge anyone with these crimes. Witnesses won't talk. But narcotics task force officers claim that gangs provide the weapons used in such shootings.
With the crack cocaine business, you get a pager, you get a cellular telephone, you get some type of fancy car, you get usually a 9mm pistol of some type, you get an Uzi, an AR-15, an AK-47. It comes with the territory. That's what these gang members see on television, that's what they see in movies, and that's what they figure they have to do to protect their turf.
There's no proof that the shooting of Charles Hughes, known by his friends as Cheap Charlie, was part of a turf war. But police blame gangs for most of the 56 drive-by shootings in San Francisco last year. This year, so far, there have been more than 40. The community is tense and fearful. In a church on 3rd Street this spring, hundreds of mourners grieved for Hughes's death and for the violence that they live with.
Bless this city, Heavenly Father. A city that is in turmoil, Heavenly Father. Bless us to do what we can to help them, Heavenly Father, so that they will realize that revenge is not the way. Let it be peace between Hunters Point and Sunnydale. Let it be peace between Fillmore and Hunters Point. Let it be peace, Heavenly Father, between Ocean View and Sunnydale. Let there be peace, Heavenly Father.
The calls for peace came also from one of Charlie Hughes's close friends, 21-year-old Henry Robinson, who wrote a poem that electrified the congregation.
This is all stupid. Who's next to die? People killing each other, and we don't know why. Power and drugs is not the situation. The reason we're fighting is no communication. It's not the mother, sister, or daddy, or either a Granada, Caprice, or Caddy. It's me and you and me. Sunnydale.
I was a good friend of Charlie, and Charlie wasn't, into no gang, or he wasn't into no such type violence. And we made him talk a lot, And, I couldn't let the media see him go out as a gang member or leader or whatever.
Henry Robinson, like many of his friends in Hunters Point, claims that organized gangs do not exist.
There's no gangs, All these guys from, Fillmore, from Sunnydale, from Hunters Point, all grew up together. They good friends, they just, be together, man. Let's all go to movies, let's all go to a concert, Let's all go to the gym and shoot hoops, shoot ball together,
The reason for the shootings, Robinson says, is that youngsters from different areas get into fights and then embellish the incidents to impress their friends, who often retaliate.
Instead of them two handling out man to man, this guy goes back and was like, hey, I was jumped by about 10 guys, 20 guys. They all jumped me, had guns, and beat me up bad. Let's go over there and get them guys. Okay, the other guys is acting out of revenge for their friend. They grew up with this guy. They feel his guy was harmed and hurt. They feel he shouldn't have been harmed and hurt. They feel, hey, them guys shouldn't have jumped on him. It should have been a one-on-one fight, which by them not being there, they never knew what really happened.
Robinson is one of many young men who confide in Thomas Mayfield, recreation director at the Hunters Point Gym for 20 years. Mayfield says nearly all the kids want the killing to stop.
They've been wanting to stop, but, you know, you always hear that saying, one rotten apple spoils the barrel. You might have 99% of the people ready to stop, but you get one guy, you know, that can talk 2 or 3 other guys into going to do something, and then you're starting everything up. If it wasn't the case, you would have 20, 30, 40, 50 killings.
But police say it's more than a few rotten apples. It's gang warfare, San Francisco style.
It doesn't have the roots that the gangs have had in Brooklyn and Los Angeles. The gangs in San Francisco are basically instrumental gangs. They use that gang membership, that gang affiliation, as their instrument to deal crack cocaine and control turf.
Do they do anything else? Is that their sole purpose?
That's just about their sole purpose, to protect each other, to organize street corners, to protect that turf and to expand that turf.
They got guys in Hunters Point who sell dope. That's obvious. They got guys in Fillmore, Sunnydale, but they're not gangs. They just live there.
You know, the police department, the newspapers, they all, you know, youths form turf super gangs. Here's a map of all the gangs in San Francisco, the Deucetown gang, the Hunters Point gang, the Sunnydale gang, and a whole bunch of others, the Out of Control gang.
But these are not gangs. These are just places where they live. Where this is, I mean, this is the paper saying that they're gangs.
Well, but they got that from the police.
Do they have anything that identify them as a gang?
They got that from the police. Isn't there a Hunters Point gang?
No, there's guys that live in Hunters Point that do illegal things.
The media blows it up to be, well, these two San Francisco gangs are fighting over crack and crack territories. It's not that, see, because they have their own crack spots, and I guess Sunnydale has it. You know, why would someone from Sunnydale, it's all the mental thing, why would someone from Sunnydale want to go to Hunters Point and sell their product to people that they don't know? They you know, hang around people that you don't know or whatever, and take a chance of being robbed or even killed.
In early September, a lot of pressure was put on the Sunnydale and the crack cocaine to stop the crack cocaine sales. It obviously dried up the market in Sunnydale. A whole lot of gang members depend upon the funding that comes from the sale of crack cocaine. So they felt that an expansion was the only way that they could keep up the profits that they were making, and they did try to expand into 3rd Street.
That explanation is rejected by this young Sunnydale resident who wants to protect his identity. Like many people here, he denies the very existence of gangs.
Are you in one of these groups or gangs?
It's I don't know why they call it a gang. Okay, say like you have old friends you still be with, or, you know, a group of friends that you know, maybe go home and barbecue with, or, hey, Jim, you know, come by. You know, it's just like that.
Whatever it is, Tom Mayfield has been working, so far with some success, to get the feuding, angry youngsters to talk.
The kids that have a lot of influence on a lot of the other kids, get them together and sit down and talk and let them see for themselves that what they're doing is not doing anything but hurting themselves. And then carrying it back into their community and spreading the word to everybody.
Try to realize that it is a problem, that there is drugs being sold in the communities, that there is a problem, and then try to help the problem. Don't criticize or put a black eye on the problem, because that's not helping it. You listen to the kids, listen. You don't talk, and you don't tell them what you're going to do and what you want. You listen and find out what they want and see if there's any way possible that you can fulfill their needs.
It's all stupid, to tell you the truth. It ain't nothing. We should both learn from all this and let it go. They lost a life and we lost a life. You know what I'm saying? And if we keep losing lives, then hey, ain't gonna be much more for us to live for. If a bullet gonna take it away, it's that quick. It's gonna keep going back and forth, then it's gonna get out of control. That's why I should stop now before it really starts. And be a lot more innocent people killed.
Drug war, a term politicians love. But the war wasn't on drugs, it was on people. Weapons, drugs, and violence flooded neighborhoods. Turf wars weren't just about street corners, they were battles for survival. Communities didn't start this war, they were forced into it. Who supplied the guns? Who imported the drugs? Follow the money and the answers get uncomfortable. This wasn't just a chapter in history, it was a blueprint, a war dressed up as policy, a crisis treated like a crime. The crack era wasn't about saving lives, it was about control, profit, and punishment. And the scars are still fresh in our streets, our prisons, our families, but we're not here to stay silent. The struggle report exists to expose what they tried to bury, to give voice to the silenced, and to ask the hard questions no one else will. If you're ready to see the truth, subscribe. If you've lived this struggle, comment. If you believe the system needs to be held accountable, share this.